Hello everyone, Bruce here with a video on how to pass lists to functions and then perform an operation on the list in, say, that function, and then return the modified list back to the function that called it, or back to the statement that called it. So here is the completed work that we're going to be doing from scratch. And let me just run it so you can see what's happening here. Run, 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 run. There it is. So it says enter a number. So I'll enter 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. So my program says, hey, give me 5 numbers. Okay. So there, right here is the original list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the list below it is the numbers squared from the list using functions. Okay, so let's tear it apart. Okay, so we're going to end up with this. We're going to end up with a function called square them, display list, and then the main, or the mainline logic. Okay, so let me create a new program and let's go through how this is all done. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll create our main function, because that's the main logic for our program here. And we will print out a welcoming message. We'll say program starting. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then we need to create a blank list of numbers. Okay, so let me do this. Create list to hold numbers. Okay, we're going to call that list numbers. And we are going to instantiate it, or initiate it, right, as a blank list here, if I can type correctly. Okay, so there is numbers equal a blank list. Okay, so what we need to do now is loop 5 times and get a number from the user. So let's do what we do best. For I in range of 5, okay, we need to get the number from the user and append it to the list of numbers. So check this out. I'm going to take my list of numbers. I'm going to call the list append method. And then I'm going to do my normal eval input. Enter a number. Okay, enter a number. Okay, so check that out. I created one statement, okay, and I think I forgot, let me see, 1, 2, 3, I forgot a closing parenthesis. Okay, right here. Okay, good. And what this one statement does is it asks for input and it appends the number right to the list. Okay, got it? So there is our list of numbers. That's how we build a list of numbers, asking the user for input. Okay, so that's all well and good. And now what I want to do is display the list to verify that those are the numbers that I entered, right? So we could just do it like this. We could say, hey, print and the numbers, right? And that would display the numbers. Okay, so let's just do it so you can see what's going on here. I'll call the main function. I'll save this and I'll call it numbers2. And I'll run it. And it says enter a number. And I'll enter the number 1, the number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are the numbers that I entered, okay? Now, I'm going to need to print out that list of numbers more than once, right? Because I'm going to want to show you the numbers before we call this yet to be written function to square the numbers in the list, okay? And I'm going to do it after we square the numbers, so before and after. So instead of doing a print statement here, which just gives us, a list, I want to create a function, and I'm going to create it up here. We'll call it define display them. How's that? And then we're going to pass in something called the list. It's just the variable name. Okay. So now we're going to do for I in range of, for I in the list, right? So for every, and to make it even easier, I'll just say for every item in the list, right? I'll say print out, right? I'll print out item and I'll end it with a space. I'll end the print with a space, okay? So now when I want to display the list of numbers, I can just call right here, display them, and that should, because I'm passing in numbers, which is going into the list here. So let's run it and see what we got. Ready? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there they are. Now the numbers are being displayed, and I'm getting Facebook notifications too, which has never happened in a video. Maybe it has, but okay. So yeah, I created another function. Okay. So what we need to do now, right, is we want to square each number in the list. Okay. So how do we do this? Well, I'm going to create a new function up here. I'm going to say define square them. Square them. Okay, what a great name. And again, we're going to pass in something and we'll assign it to the variable the list. Okay. So what we're going to want to do with each item in the list is square it, right? So literally, we need to loop through each item in the list, square the number, and put it back in the same spot where it was in the list, right? So if somebody enters 2, we're going to square it, and it's going to be 4, and we want to stick it right back in where the 2 was. So check this out, right? So if I say here, the list, for I in range of the length of the list, okay? So we're going to loop for the entire length of the list. So if there's 5 items in the list, we're going to loop 5 times. And I'm doing this rather than doing the normal way we iterate through a list because I need that I need to know where in the list I am. So check this out. So now I can say the list sub I, okay? So the first time I go through, that's going to be 0. So that's going to be the 0th position in the list. And then I can say, hey, take that same thing that's located at 0 and square it. Okay, so check this out, because this is really important. So we're going to square the first item in the list at position 0, and then we're going to stick it right back over itself, right here. Okay, that's really key. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do here is when I'm done is I'm going to say, hey, return the list, okay, just the list, just like that, the variable name, back to from where it was called from, and we haven't done that yet, so watch this. So down here in the main, I'll say the result equals, we'll call square them, and we'll pass into it the list of numbers, okay? So the list of numbers. Now, we'll get the list back here because this thing right here is going to send that data back here. It's going to send it back here. And if we just call our function again called display them, so let me say re-display the list of squared numbers. Okay, I'll say here print, not print, display them, and then the result. That's the result we got back from here. Okay, so let's run this and see if we can get it to work. So we'll enter 1, whoops, we'll enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it worked, but the display isn't perfect. So what I want to do is after I display the list in this function here, display them, let's just stick a print statement right there outside the loop. Outside the loop after the loop is done. That'll print a new line. So now I'll run. I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there is the original list. And then there is the squared list. So let me add some comments in here. Okay, so this is loop through each item in the list. Okay, and then I think you all know about the print. In square them, we are going to iterate through, iterate the number of time. Well, let me just think of a way to phrase this. iterate through length of the list. Okay. And then here we're saying, okay, square the current value and reassign it back to its index position. Yeah, let's go with that. And then here we're going to say send the result back. Send the result back. Let's just go with that. And yeah, I think it's well documented. And then I'll stick a print statement. Print to say goodbye. Just a good thing to do. Print program ended. Okay. So how about that? Okay. How about that? That's pretty cool. So it's really important for you to understand, number one, how the program works. I'll just do it again here. I'll enter 10 so you can see, and 100, and you can see the values do get squared. Okay, but it's really important for you to know, especially this line right here, because lists are immutable. We can change the value, right, in any position in a list, and that's what we're doing. We're taking the original value, we're then squaring it and sticking it right back in the same place it was. Okay, so I will upload this code into Slack right below the video. Okay, thanks for watching.